Hey guys, Camper Dad here. We had some beef stroganoff this past week and some chicken Alfredo. While I was out of town, my wife freeze dried them, so I don't have the footage of putting them on the trays and putting them in there. And we also did some zucchini that she had seasoned, done a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to put these in a jar. I'll show those to you later, but right now, all of these, and I'll show you the pictures of them on trays now. All of these we ran in the freeze dryer together on 3 trays. It took about 23 hours. So started it in the morning, came back the next morning, and they were just finishing up. All of these, I'm going to package them now for storage and for eating later. I've already figured out how much water needs to go in each one of these. The zucchini, I'm just going to put in a jar because we're going to eat them. They're just great to snack on. Dried just the way they are. Wow, that's the first one. That is really good. I need to find out what she put on it. I'll find out what's on the zucchini and put it in later. Right now, I'm just going to package these other meals so that they're ready to go into storage. I actually don't think I had the chicken Alfredo either while I was out of town. I'm going to try it. Just a little piece. That's pretty good, just dry. A lot of flavor. Quite a few of these you could eat dry. I haven't done anything real magical about what size the servings are. I just kind of look at it and determine this is the size of serving my family would eat. Because if we went by the FDA servings, they'd be half this, and then we'd have to open 2 and 3. But this way, we get a whole meal of what we actually are going to eat. Looks like it's going to take 2 meals of the Alfredo. Just make sure my math was all correct, which it was. I don't worry too much if it's within 7-8 grams. That's pretty close. And I'll do the stroganoff at the same time. Then I can just vacuum seal them all at once. Stroganoff I did have when it was fresh. One of the things that I've learned when I'm adding up the water that needs to go in it, I figure out how much water got pulled out by the freeze dryer first, which is pretty easy to do. And then I always round up to the nearest ounce. Round up to the nearest ounce, and I might even fudge just a little bit by a ½ ounce of water, especially if it's something that I know was pretty wet before. Because when you're reconstituting and heating the water, you lose some of it to steam and things like that. If I round down, I don't typically have enough water. But if you're within an ounce of water high, you're pretty safe. I'm going to seal these, and then I'll show you what they look like after. So you can see here, one of the bags I made didn't seal all the way across at the bottom. In fact, I had two of them, one that didn't seal down here. I'm just going to make new ones because usually once they don't seal like this and food gets in them, you can't reseal them very well. So I'm going to redo these bags. So I'm looking at this one. It looks pretty good. That should be right. That bag also looks good. So we'll try it. Let me make sure that I put on what the food is that's going in it. And how much water. Well, there we go, the last one successfully vacuum sealing. So there we have 3 meals of beef stroganoff and 3 of chicken Alfredo, all packaged, ready to be stored. I'm going to put these in a jar and seal them up because I'm sure we'll eat them soon. I'll show you pictures of everything now. I'm going to show you how to determine the amount of water you need to put back into your food in order to reconstitute it, to eat it. We're going to start with the chicken Alfredo. This particular meal, I measured the tray with the wet food at 1,066 grams. After it came out of the freeze dryer, then I measured it to be 803 grams. That includes the tray. So if you subtract 803 from 1066, that gives you 263 grams. That is the amount of water that was pulled out of the food. This was one tray. Next, we're going to convert the grams of water into fluid ounces. So it's 263 grams divided by 29.5, which is roughly 9 ounces. So the entire tray, we pulled 9 ounces of water out. Next, we're going to figure out the weight of the food that we have left. We had 803 grams of food and the tray, minus 652 grams, which I've figured out is the weight of my tray and the silicone mat. That leaves 151 grams of food without the tray. I'm splitting this arbitrarily into 2 servings. So 151 grams of food split into 2 is 75.5 grams. That's how much I'm going to put in each bag. Then I'm going to split the 9 ounces of water in half to the 2 servings, which ends up being 4.5 ounces, rounding up to 5 ounces to make it be safe.